Everyone thought Leon Carte was dead. His bones were shattered. His army was scattered. On the leaderboard, he was dead last. Even the teachers were betting on his failure. But they didn't know the truth. Leon wasn't losing. He was farming. Rewind to the moment of impact. Albert, transformed into the Yida demonic sub-dragon, tore through the forest. He had 200 hellhounds snapping at his heels. He was hunting Leon. When he found the flesh golem nest, he didn't see golems. He saw skeletons. Thousands of them. Albert laughed. So that's your secret, Leon? You're hiding behind a pile of bones? Albert didn't hesitate. He roared, and the 200 hellhounds charged. These weren't normal beasts. In the demon abyss, their stats were doubled. They hit Leon's defensive line like a cannonball. Crunch, tore. I'd hear. Saw it. The front row of skeleton soldiers disintegrated. Leon's elite units stepped forward. The iron-boned skeletons and the skeleton knight formed a phalanx. But Albert was a sub-dragon. He was a tank with wings. He slammed into the skeleton knight, cracking its ribcage with a single headbutt. Then, he swung his massive tail. The shockwave pulverized the ground. It hit Leon directly. Leon's avatar, the fragile, jade-like skeleton, shattered into 1,000 pieces. His skull rolled across the dirt. The light in his eye sockets went dark. Albert stood over the pile of debris. He waited for Leon's true body to descend. 1 minute passed. Nothing happened. Coward. Albert sneered. He quit the exam to save his life. Albert didn't bother destroying the rest of the army. Killing leaderless skeletons gave 0 points. He turned around and marched away, leaving the broken bones in the dust. The remaining skeletons froze. Their master was dead. A wave of grief and rage swept through the soul fire of the army. They wanted to charge Albert. They wanted to die fighting. But then... a vibration. The pile of white jade bones on the ground began to tremble. Click. Dot. Snap. Dot. When? The ribs reconnected to the spine. The arms reattached to the shoulders. The skull floated up and snapped into place. Ability triggered. Resurrection. Leon stood up. He dusted off his ribs. That was close, he muttered. He watched Albert's dragon form disappear into the distance. He couldn't win this fight. Not yet. Albert was a raid boss. Leon was still level 1 player. Pack it up, Leon ordered the stunned skeleton knight. We're leaving. 10 minutes later, Albert opened the exam leaderboard. He expected to see Leon's name grayed out at the bottom. He scrolled down. Rank 163. Leon Carte. Wins. Status. Active. Why? See. Albert froze. He didn't quit, but I crushed his skull. Realization hit him like a truck. Hundred. Tawani. Tawiamd. 1. Humpty. He faked it. Albert spun his army around and sprinted back to the nest. I will grind your bones to dust. I will scatter your ashes. He tore through the forest, burning with rage. He burst into the clearing. Empty. Empty. Not a single bone. Not a single footprint. Leon had vanished. Leon was 50 kilometers away. He was running. His army had taken heavy losses. He was down to 5,000 units. Most of them were damaged. Leon checked his inventory. He dumped his remaining bone crystals onto the ground. Eat, he commanded. The skeletons absorbed the energy. Cracks healed. Bones hardened. One lucky iron bone skeleton absorbed a critical amount of energy. Evolution complete. New unit. Skeleton Knighted. Now Leon had 2 commanders. But it wasn't enough. He needed points. He needed an army that could drown a dragon. He opened the mission list. Most of the easy missions were grayed out. The other students were working fast. Leon scrolled past the gathering quests. He stopped at Mission 64. Mission 64. Eradicate the fallen imp tribe. Target. 1 million units. ITUO. Are you aboard? 80 points. Skill gem, chain fireball. B. It was a suicide mission. Fallen imps were weak individually, but they were a swarm. Warriors, magus, shamans, and there were 1 million of them. Any sane student would skip this. Leon grinned. He didn't see a million enemies. He saw a million potential recruits. March, Leon ordered. Time skip. Day 80. The exam had become a grueling war of attrition. 300 students had already been eliminated. The survivors were entrenched, building kingdoms in the abyss. In the faculty observation room, the teachers were analyzing the data. Jack is crushing it, one teacher noted. He has a goblin army of 100,000. He's sitting at rank 1 with 3,200 points. Hartman is close behind with his orcs. Then, the conversation turned to Class 1. Hey, Mr. Smith, a teacher laughed. Where's your star pupil? Where's Leon? Mr. Lewis, the corrupt teacher, slammed his hand on the table. I'll tell you where he is. Dead last. He projected the leaderboard. Rank 402. Points 140 inch day. The room erupted in laughter. 140 points. In 80 days? He sold his divinity for this? He's just hiding in a hole, waiting for the timer to run out. Mr. Lewis smirked at Mr. Smith. Face it, Smith. The boy's trash. He got lucky once, but in the real world, he's nothing. Mr. Smith didn't blink. He looked at the screen, then back at Lewis. Are you done? Mr. Lewis frowned. What? You seem very confident, Mr. Smith said calmly. Confident enough to bet again? The room went silent. Mr. Lewis hesitated. He had already lost 5 divinity points to Smith. He was tapped out, but the numbers didn't lie. Leon was last place. This was free money. I don't have divinity cards, Lewis snarled. But I have something better. He pulled a glowing card from his soul. The teachers gasped. Class 3, Priesthood. Healing Boitois. A priesthood. The core of a demigod's power. It was worth more than 10 divinity points. If Lewis lost this, his status would collapse. I bet my priesthood, Lewis screamed, his eyes bloodshot. Against your 10 divinity points. I bet that Leon fails to take first place. Accepted, Mr. Smith said instantly. You're crazy, a colleague whispered to Smith. The kid has 140 points. The leader has 3,000. It's mathematically impossible. Mr. Smith smiled. Don't look at his points. Look at his mission. He pointed to the screen. Current mission. Eradicate fallen imp tribe. Status in progress. Leon Carte. He's doing an 80-point mission, Smith said. Lewis laughed. So, even if he clears it, that's only 220 points. He's still a loser. You don't get it, Smith replied, his voice dropping to a chill whisper. Think about the e-scale of that mission. Think about what happens when a necromancer walks into a city of 1 million souls. Tation. Fallen Imp Canyon. Leon Carte. Sean. And in Shaw. Meta. Charts. The sky was black with smoke. The ground was carpeted in corpses. For 80 days, Leon hadn't been hiding. He had been harvesting. The fallen imp tribe, once a bustling civilization of 1 million demons, was silent. Only the central citadel remained. Inside, 100,000 terrified imps were huddled together, praying to their dark gods. But their gods weren't listening. Outside the walls, the ocean of white bones stretched to the horizon. Leon stood on a hill overlooking the siege. He wasn't commanding a squad anymore. He wasn't commanding a battalion. He was commanding a calamity. Report, Leon whispered. The skeleton knight, now evolved into a massive, eye-bone general, knelt. The mental link transferred the data. Current army size, 900,000 units. Leon looked at the citadel. He looked at the trembling imps on the walls. He raised his hand. He didn't need tactics. He didn't need strategy. He had numbers that defied logic. All units, Leon said. The sound of nearly 1 million skulls clattering together drowned out the wind. Feast. Dow. The sea of bones surged forward. The walls of the citadel didn't just break. They were erased. The exam leaderboard was about to break. And Mr. Lewis was about to lose everything.